So let's look about what we can tweet about. So how do we tweet? Maybe you can show us on your feed. Like what's the type of thing that Richard, because you tweet, how often would you tweet a day?
Uh, it's definitely not a set number of tweets per day.
So it's not quantity, it's quality, sort of.
It's entirely about the quality of the content.
Yep.
Honestly, as I say, most of my day starts by looking through the Twitter list that I have, and then the quality of the content that I share is intended that if I met one of the people who are in my group of followers, I'd be able to confidently talk about the content.
Yeah.
Now, even though my core is about social media, social business consulting,
Yep.
in fact, not most of the people I connect with could care about the day-to-day of that. They're actually much more interested in what's going on in business in Australia. And so the content that they're sharing is actually fascinating to me as a user.
Yep.
And that's the content I reshare to the majority of the people who have followed my account. So when I go through, you'll find things from the big accounting firms, things from representatives individually of the big accounting firms. Perhaps I'm a member of different organizations. If we've got an event coming up, I might make an original share of an event with photos.
So just this one that you've got, how do you actually put a tweet up like that? It might be new to a few people. Sure. How do you actually put photos on there? So that's quite an interesting tweet, I think, the one you've got on the screen now for the Sydney Hills Business Chamber, where you've actually got some pictures of an event that happened or is happening, I think. It's a promo sort of thing, telling people to come along. Yeah,
that's right.
So maybe walk us through the structure of that tweet.
So this one was done yesterday, 18 hours ago, and I popped into this little tweet button, which we won't detail now, but pop open a tweet, and just like any message, it offers you the chance to attach images,
right,
or video. You can embed video, which is fascinating if you can do 15 or 30 seconds of video type thing.
And you're limited to 3?
You can do 4 photos, maximum of 4.
Okay.
But if you're very creative, you could do blocks of 4 and then on an editor create blocks of 4 or 4. Mm-hmm. You could have 16 photos in a single image if you chose, then load a single image. So there's flexibility in the way you approach it. You're not restricted in that sense. Now, for this one, you can see I put in a little emoticon, a light globe, because if you just start at Sydney Hills, it thinks in terms of at replies. It's too tricky for now, but starting with anything that starts with an at the beginning of a tweet is not ideal. So if need be, pop into your little box of images and pop one in, if it's relevant. If you're talking about rockets, pop a rocket in, because we've got lots of SpaceX going on. If you're talking about trains, pop in a train, bicycles, whatever. In other words, that little menu of colorful images takes up like one character, and it's kind of interesting, and you stand out in a sea of text. Then I mentioned the Sydney Hills Chamber, and using the at meaning, obviously at mention, and people can hover over it and see more about it. Then I mentioned some basic details so people don't have to look too far to get that.
Because you're limited with how many characters?
About 140 after your own.
So you have to
handle.
really think about how you can't waffle on.
No waffle.
Like you've got straight to the point here. Info session plus business after 5 on the 27th January. Like you've got straight to it. No waffling about here's a great event. You should come along. You've got straight to the specific.
Images tell 1,000 words, as they say. Mm-hmm. The hashtag means that if I click that, all the events tagged with that event hashtag will show up simultaneously.
Yep.
And if someone wants to know about our upcoming event, they just have to click through, and up comes our upcoming sign-up page.
Yep.
Very easy to
Obviously
do.
to register for this
event.
Yep. So it could be a landing page or whatever. Yep.
The last one, of course, I want to get it into a bigger stream. So, for instance, this is a very narrow stream. Not many people would be outside of that looking for it. But one like Australian Biz, AusBiz, that's a very busy stream. So if I throw it into one like that, it actually gives it the chance to show up in a search that people can run on that hashtag, so they can search. So by knowing what sort of hashtag, and you'll know that by studying the way those other tweets in the lists are being done, you can quickly learn the basics of how to tweet well, at handles, hashtags, photos, by studying what else other people are doing. Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, so that's sort of given us an idea of then what and how to sort of tweet. How often should people tweet? So you're saying it's more about quality than quantity, but is there a certain number? Obviously, I'm thinking you should be active, like you should be listening at least to your lists once or twice a day.
My habit is that I start the day literally at breakfast, and I have a phone or a tablet in my case open.
Yep.
I go straight to my list. I don't look for the general feed. I know I want to look up all the key lists, whether it's the news network list or whether it's as I say, the Prime Minister's list, because these are telling what's happening in real words by the people.
Right.
So I
pop into reading the paper almost, is it? You're kind of like tapping into your network.
Exactly. But the benefit of having it done on a list, basis, the way it is when you find a piece of content that you know people are going to want, maybe it's associations you belong to in your list, maybe it's, any organizations, associations, they're all together in a list. You're helping to promote your organization where you share their content. So unlike the paper versions where you might flip through it every other week or a month, if you're finding that same content linked on the website and you instantly share it with your own growing community, you're actually promoting, as you just saw, to Sydney Hills Business Chamber. That's an obvious one. But there's also, other accounting firms and so forth. If I'm a member of those, I want to promote them. If you're a member of any trade and you use their Twitter or, different day Facebook feeds and you share that content, you're promoting your own industry. And you're doing it without lifting a finger. Literally, you can do it scrolling your finger over the screen, hit retweet. It is as easy as that to help your own industry or organization rather than looking at it on a television or in print.